Greetings and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Brad and Colin for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. One person picks the game and you got to beat that game in a month. Then you get to pick the next game for everyone to play once your month comes around. This one was Colin's, and it's a record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. What made you pick that game?
Because it's sick, dude.
It was sick.
Absolutely beautiful game.
I picked it solely on name and nothing
It
else,
is.
dude.
It's the longest named game I've beaten.
You fucked the
I
name up,
checked.
too.
Did I?
Yeah, dude.
Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. No, what'd I say? It was
No, you
that's
said it right. I
fine.
was just making you say it again.
Oh god damn it. Dude, no lie,
Baited,
guys. I
dude.
practiced it all week,
I
dude.
thought it
At
was
least once
Wonder...
a day.
No, it's Deedlit, not Wonderlit.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's like Castlevania. That's why I picked it.
It's definitely one of the better and one of the shortest Metroidvanias I've played. Not that I've played many,
I was
but
going to say, have you guys even
it's up
played
there.
any, like, Metroidvanias?
Never finished any, no.
yeah, I've started a bunch like Dead Cells and
Yeah. Well, that one's
newer ones.
That one's
but
like a roguelike, so it's a little different. Blasphemous is, I think, a Metroidvania. I think.
yeah,
is
no,
it-
that one's straight up Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Another one I didn't finish.
There's a graveyard of Metroidvanias. I've Blasphemous, fucking what do you call it? Symphony of the Night.
Beat
The list will
that.
go on.
Yeah, D-Lit is straight up Symphony of the Night 2.0 with Ikaruga mechanics.
Yeah, gameplay, more fun than I thought it would be. Cause again, I don't beat games like that. It was short.
Yeah, the swapping of having to swap your from Sylph to the air power to the fire one.
Yeah.
But it adds a lot of. It's a really simple mechanic, but it adds a lot of variety to the platform and enemy.
Yeah, it makes it not like completely mindless like some of those games are. But it could, I don't know, it could have been more in depth, but I get why it's not.
Curse of the indie game, right there.
Yeah, that's the other thing that sucks too. It's just way too short.
Well, it's long if you suck. I played it a little bit longer
Dude.
than you did.
Barely. Would take you 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, around there.
Because it's not even that hard, to be honest.
No. Oh yeah, no, that's what I wanted to make my main point in is that like when you first fight the boss, they're a little bit difficult. But then like once you get all their gimmicks, it's you can just walk right through it.
And you can kind of just like scum every boss with like potions, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which makes it not hard at all if you just buy the potions. If you don't, it's pretty challenging.
And the game lets you fly, so you could hover speed attack like everything in the game.
Yeah, especially Shooting Star, the red dragon. Oh, dude, you just fucking float by his head.
I
And
remember I watched the
death.
speed run after. You literally just cheese him by hovering right above him.
The big dragon, dude. I saw the speed run right before this, and he hovers over him, gets the hammer out.
Oh, you're talking about the like that black dragon?
The big one, yeah, the one that likes to jump around and shoot flames
Yeah.
at you. You can just get right over him.
Yeah, it was one of the harder bosses.
Yeah, I died a few times on him.
That boss rush is pretty hard too. The first time.
Yeah. But that's not the hardest part of the game. The hardest part of the game is that fucking room with like 6 dragons in it. And
Oh, right at the end.
yeah, because it's not bad enough that you
Oh.
have to get through it. You have to get through it twice because you have to go back, and it's just a huge pain in the ass.
That was
Worst
the
room in the
funniest
game.
thing watching you play is missing. You almost missed the hole. You almost missed the key.
The-
The very obvious key.
Yeah, there's a hole in the room next to it, and you think you have to go all the way back through for a third time, and you don't. You really don't. There's a hole right there. I was furious when I saw that.
The
So that
puzzles were
saved
kind
me
of
a
cool
bunch of
too.
time.
Have you seen the puzzles in the speed run?
I watched a speed run and the guy just
Oh,
breezed
they
through
just
all of them.
shoot
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah, you
They
can
just,
literally like get like a pixel into the like the arrow puzzles and just skip them basically by shooting straight through it, which is kind of lame.
There's sick movement tech.
Yeah, Brad got that movement tech down with the slide to backdash.
yeah, the fire dash made that was such a fun move you could use.
It,
It's so
it's
fast.
it's not as I didn't like the backdash in this game compared to Symphony of the Night because it felt clunky. It has like a weird like you can't mash it. You have to have like a rhythm to it. There's like a lockout window. It's really weird.
I didn't watch any of the anime or read any of the mangas, so I still don't know who Deedlit is, aside from the fact that
Brad
she
watched
was in.
some of it.
Yeah, I'm still making my way through it. I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in.
Because Brad was
I
saying
like
it spoils the whole game. Like the game spoils the whole anime.
maybe not like the intricacies but it's like the end result of the anime from the game.
Right.
Well,
'Cause
for people that watched the anime first and then played the game, it was probably fucking sick for them to go through all the shit that they went in the anime then.
Oh
it,
yeah, because all those characters they're like more in depth. They're built in the anime, so they're not just saying esoteric lines and whatnot that you don't get. They actually make some sense probably with the source.
Gameplay was much better because again, can't stress this enough. Was a short game. Map design wasn't terrible, but I didn't like if there was no fast travel points, I would have hated the game. But because there was fast travel points, it made everything a lot simpler.
yeah, there's a lot of convenient shit. That made me remember that this game has like a mini map that you don't have to pause the game to see, which is wait, no, you do have
Uh,
to pause the game, don't you?
no, it's in
Yeah.
the bottom corner.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Uh,
Sick.
Every Metroidvania should have that, and
That
if you don't, you're messing up now.
that's huge, yeah, because having to pause the game to look at the map is super annoying, even though it's like a staple of the genre.
Story. I again,
What do you think happened?
me, first of all, they did the "it was all a dream" thing, but that was behind 7 twists. And then it was like, oh, final twist, the dream was real, and then they introduced a character that I didn't know because I didn't watch the anime. This is definitely a record of Lodoss War fan like game. This is a game for the fans, but it was fun even though I never understood anything. So story, I'm a wash. I got no fucking clue, which is a common theme, but in this one especially, because I tried.
They really did say not like every time they talked, it was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
yeah, referencing something that
They're
you
not
don't
even
know.
referencing shit. They're just saying words. Like
I mean, oh, sorry.
I don't. There's just I don't see how anyone could play it and be like, yeah, I know the story. I don't even think it was a dream.
I think the whole thing was, at least from what I could gather, is that obviously she, like Deedlit, fucking, she's still grappling over losing Parn, that night dude, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
you
gets
first
stabbed.
see run off. Yeah, yeah. And once you beat the curse or whatever that's keeping her in that dream, or the labyrinth, it's like you realize that it's been like a long time since all those people that popped up, or like the dwarf, the guy in the cloak, the priest, like they've been dead for a long time. Same with Parn, and
Yeah,
she's a high elf, so she's lived way past their natural lifespan. And I think it's her trying to get over that, but that's
Yeah.
all I can gather.
Well, it's kind of like it has like some allegorical shit to it, kind of like how I think Control has, because I think Control as a game is like um two siblings getting over the death of their parents and shit, and I think that like the whole idea of that is really sick, because in Control one dealt with it the hard and right way, and the other one just like regressed and shit. Um, Whereas Deedlit, their entire thing is like go through all these like these demons that are keeping her in that sleep because of the death of Parn, and she keeps trying to get Parn back, and then at the end like everyone fades away and shit. It's like I like that, you know. It's just I don't know who the fuck these people are. I got no clue.
But didn't they come back to life? Like, isn't there some twist after?
Yeah, after she wakes up and it's shit that happened like 60 years ago or some shit, and there's like statues of her, and a little girl walks up and she's like, "Yeah, everyone knows how cool you are."
So it
And
all
then like,
happened.
yeah, it
Yeah,
all
no, all their adventure with her adventure with all those people happened a while back.
So it's not a dream.
no, it's like a memory. It's like a memory loop while she's
Yeah,
dreaming.
yeah, it's like her trying to get over the grief of
It's like I'm gonna
losing the
do it
people,
right this time or some shit like that.
or her coming to terms with it. I don't know.
I gotta chalk it up to they just translated it like shit because there's just no way you can tell, dude. Even like the merchant, I forget what he's like. He says shit that makes no sense.
Oh, again, always circling back to gameplay after we get to story. Merchant, almost useless, dude. I spent so much money on the merchant. You just pick up shit that's cooler later, which I should have known, but I should have just
Yeah, that
invested all in health pots.
That's the only thing you need, dude, is the
Yeah.
potions.
The boss rush
fine
is sick.
weapons.
I also don't get beating up the meat. I'm sure it has something to do with the lore.
I think it was just there because like you have to get hits on your weapon to refill your mana or some shit, or your stasis or whatever the fuck it's called, where you get 3 of each.
Yeah, Ikaruga mode, dude,
Yeah,
with
Ikaruga.
levels.
It is a blatant ripoff of Ikaruga. It's not even close. It's the same exact fucking thing.
Yeah, and it works in the exact same way too. It's like if you're the same color, you don't take damage.
That being said, the implementation was amazing. Like, I really liked the implementation. The attacks, especially because it gives you mana power for the if you absorb it or
Yeah.
So like, I like the balance behind it.
The spell system could have been better because I didn't really like they had to like hold the button and then scroll to the spell,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward.
but I don't know because in Symphony of the Night you have to do like command inputs, so I don't know if that's worse or better. It's like you have to input a Hadoken to do your spell and shit in that game. They also don't tell you what the inputs are.
Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, no, I'd much prefer a drop-down menu.
It was cool, but it was also kind of like I don't know.
The There's like it's like 50-50 for me because I liked that the drop-down menu like paused everything, so I could like be in the air and then set it up because I like real-time with pause, but the scrolling down, it could have been better. It could have been like a row and column thing. That way I could just hold down the button and go through a menu because then you could have all the spells and you didn't have to like go through everything, and like health could be on one side and mana could be on the other and spells could be on the other side. It's like you could pick from like a keyboard layout instead of like just scrolling down the whole time.
They were kind of lame too, the spells.
Oh yeah, I mean you're just gonna use that tornado once you get it forever.
The rock one. That rock one's broken.
Yeah, well, the rock one and the ball one are like the same fucking thing except for the rock one's better. Like,
And those were like low because the tornado one's cool, but it costs so much mana that you can only ever use it like twice.
yeah,
So it's good, but it's not that good.
I had no urge to go and collect everything in this game. Because I was not getting like 10 extra health for going through 4 extra rooms was just not. I was not in it. Um, but weapons were sick. But I would be so pissed when it's like, oh, you get 5 extra mana because you went the complete wrong way. Have fun getting back. You got to do it all again.
Yeah, that's a problem with Metroidvanias. Like Metroid has that same thing where it's like collect all the shit. It's just health upgrades and missile tanks. Like it's not
Yeah.
cool shit because all the cool shit you have to get anyway, and it's like all the optional shit's just not that cool.
The weapon variety was pretty sick, even though like I ended up going big number every time anyway. Aside from the arrows that the tracking arrows and the bow that shot 3 arrows at once. Like bows were pretty sick. Um,
I
but the
wish they
weapons
did more with the
themselves,
bow. It felt like you didn't really have to use it as much. They could have made it a little cooler.
Oh yeah, aside from the puzzles on when you can't melee attack, you use your bow.
Yeah.
Although you might be better off using magic in that case.
Same with the weapon too. It always just kind of did feel better to use just like the most damaging weapon. Like I rarely felt like this weapon's like longer or this one's faster. I was like, this one just hits harder, so I'm gonna use this one.
yeah. I used the variety of weapons. I used the big slashy sword, the overhead slashy sword for a long time. I used I didn't use the one that the speedrunners use, the little fast one that you got to get up and close with that much. But I'd say for about a third of the game, I also used the boomerang or the chakram or whatever you want to call it, the one that you throw. Um,
I hated that fucking thing.
really?
It's just annoying. Didn't you guys use that big ass like honage thing, whatever that shit was called?
Oh yeah, no, I used it. Yeah,
That shit
100%.
is garbage.
I
It
think I
had
used the last giant you sword you get up until the last boss fight or final boss fight. Then I switched.
Weapons like that and games like this are never good. It's like
no,
it's way
very
better to have the little stabby thing.
very specific situation to use it because like the big swords that do a bunch of damage, they only have like 2 attacks, and if you have like even if you don't have as much range, if you got more attacks, you could use them in more situations. You could run through shit faster. But it's like with that sword, it's like, okay, here's your long overarching move that only goes in one way every time. Have fun.
The final boss kind of trash.
Yeah, game goes straight bullet hell. Like other bosses had like a nice mix. The last boss is just avoid everything, chip them down.
Well, and it was like cool. It was cool because like you have to do the boss rush before the final boss, but then it's kind of just like you already did the boss rush, which felt badass, and then you're just fighting like another boss rush with your friends who are not your friends.
I
And then
liked that fight, not the fight after it.
you don't like the Kirby eyeball, dude.
No, I never liked those type of bosses where it's just all right. He remains pretty much stationary, and then you just have to keep hitting him while dodging a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I
I
wonder if
really like those.
because that's how the final boss in Symphony of the Night is too. Dracula. It's just a big enemy, and like the sprite barely moves.
Isn't that in Metroid too, where it's a giant fucking thing that just takes up like one wall?
Yeah,
I mean,
some of the
Brand.
Metroids. Yeah,
That's a commonplace thing in Metroidvanias. The last one's like it's this stationary bullet sponge
well, and
that just throws out massive moves.
the final boss in Metroid Dread is nuts. He has fucking Lost Ark raid wipes, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, we also played Lost Ark and Sifu, and I played God of War this month. This was a lot of games this month. Um, Sound design. What do you guys think of the sound design?
Music was excellent.
It's good. I don't really
Yeah, I don't
remember
really.
any of it.
Yeah, nothing that for me that popped up to be like awful aside from healing sound when you have max level
No,
on
no,
a
no, no. That sound effect is sick, dude.
bro.
What's
That
your
is
opinion
great.
on that sound, Frank?
I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I played without sound for I think
Oh
probably 40% of it.
my god, dude.
Well, because I keep dying in the same room, and I'd have to do dee 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 whatever the
No, that
fuck it was.
sounds cool.
What a jabron.
It's like Batavia Downs winning, dude.
Yeah.
It's sick.
But it wasn't abrasive. It wasn't like the worst music. It wasn't the greatest music, but it was better than I expected. Like I like the overall like loop that the sound does in the background, and different areas had different loops.
Well,
But
it's like perfect because you don't remember the music like specifically, but that's not a bad thing necessarily, you know, because none of it was abrasive or anything.
yeah,
It fit the game well. Good
it
ambient map running around noise.
yeah. The the low points in the game I was not really fucking with. Like where you go into like a catatonic state, and you're at like the house, and then there's like reapers and shit, and you can't kill them, and you don't have any of your weapons or your magic or your bow, and they
But
give you like this big ass sword, but you can only use it once, and it sucks. It hits like 5. I hated that.
it's story building, dude.
True.
To the fucking non real story about nothing. I honestly feel like even if you know shit about this game, the story still would suck.
It's not
It's not self-contained at all.
nothing really like stuck with me aside from like the gameplay aspect.
That's all I remember. I honestly can't tell you a Well, I know most of the story, but yeah, all I really remember is the gameplay because it's super fun and it feels good to play. And the graphics, dude, shit looks good.
Yeah,
Those are good
game looks
sprites.
nice.
Someone
Yeah.
was shitting on the after image effect, but I liked that.
Well, you could turn it off if you wanted
Yeah,
anyway.
It's confusing at first, but I kept it on the whole time because after I started going fast, like it looked sick.
it is weird when you move slow. Yeah, but it's just cool because it's a throwback to Symphony of the Night, which is basically this whole game with some twists. They got the Ikaruga mechanic.
I was waiting for the upside down, dude. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I would
Never came.
that's seriously the biggest flaw with this game. It's not upside down, and that was really a letdown, dude.
I just wanted everything upside down, dude. Why not?
I If this game should have been like 6 or 8 hours, and it would have been so much better.
It did need to be longer.
It's so short.
And like I went up to like the boss mode, and I just fiddled with it sometime during the month, and it's just like there's no point after after you beat the story, because you already did the boss rush. Like the boss rush is like right at the end anyway. So it's like you're gonna do a boss rush at the end of the story into another boss rush. It's like, why?
And you can kind of like power level going into that because like the way because the boss rush isn't like self-contained. It's like off your save file, you know.
Yeah.
It's like so you can just go in there with like a ton of potions, all this crazy shit, and it makes it like stupid easy, which is kind of lame.
Like there was no like god weapon. Like I got the chainsaw, and it was just like underwhelming. All the cool shit that's really expensive is like underwhelming.
Yeah, there's no point of buying any of the weapons.
But the game itself, it's like I'm critical of the game because like the game was good enough to make me want more, and I don't even like Metroidvanias like that.
It's because it's so short, dude. It didn't have enough time to offend you to the point where you hate it, like every other game.
I mean, yeah. If I had to do everything upside down again, I probably would like it less. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Granted, that shit sucks in Symphony of the Night too. Even though it's stupid short, but playing every map upside down is pretty fucking dumb.
The section system was pretty good. You didn't really have to backtrack to the other sections that much.
Oh yeah, they did a good job of like flowing it well. So you kind of like, even if you had to backtrack, it like brought you right back. You never actually had to like turn around, you know?
Yeah. Do other Metroidvanias that you've played have the fast travel system that Deedlit had?
Symphony of the Night has it. It's it's shittier because you can't. So in Symphony of the Night, you can't choose which one you go to. So you just have to
Oh.
rotate through them all and to where you want to go. There's no selection, which is pretty fucking trash.
You know, the more you talk about Symphony of the Night, the less I wanna
Listen,
give it a
dude.
try again,
Listen,
dude.
it was the '90s. Clinton was in office. It was a different era, dude. Symphony of the Night's still, it has like more charm.
Imagine like a true hardcore experience for Metroidvanias again, dude. Just like no map, you gotta draw it out, dude. It'd be fucking terrible, dude.
No one wants that. I feel like isn't
No,
Blasphemous fucking hard?
yeah,
Yeah,
Blasphemous is
Blasphemous is up
ridiculously
there.
hard.
Actually, you know a game that's fucking what do you call it? Hollow Knight. That's like the stupid hard because I think you don't even get a map unless you like spend points to have a map.
Yeah, it's all like grayed out or blacked out, however you want to say it, until you go there. Like you can't see anything, which is par for the course, but it's like it's one of those ones where it's like here's the flaw with Metroidvanias in my opinion. Like you got to look at the map and be like, "Okay, where did I not go to yet?" And then you got to backtrack to that area. Cuz you can never go, "Ah, I'll look at that later." You know? But the game forces you to. Like at least in Deedlit, it's like really it's really like concise where you can't go yet because of the different colored doors.
Yeah.
Um, so there's always backtracking involved in some way. Um, but then you go back to like a room that gave you a hard time, and you're a god now. So it's just like, why do I got to come back here? But again, the fast travel system helps that.
That's in Metroid Dread, that's what was crazy. You constantly feel lost and yet you're still progressing forward somehow. Cuz the whole time I played that game, I felt like I'm going the fucking wrong way. And I know it. And I never was going the wrong way. It was a very fucking weird experience. This game's not like
uh,
that though. You kind of just always know where to go. I never really got lost in Deedlit.
there's some shit in Deedlit. There's some bullshit in Deedlit. The puzzle that had a bunch of enemies and you had to first of all right, puzzle is a misnomer. They're not really puzzles. They're really you don't have to use your brain for these.
Trial and error, basically.
Yeah. But it's the one where you have to keep hitting the gears to put the elevator up
I remember
and
watching you try it.
then
Oh
switch to
yeah.
another elevator and it's just like why? Um and Brad in the room that I hate was having a trouble with the spinning blades, the spinning swords, you know,
Oh, I got stuck on that shit too.
because you kind of it's almost like it was made to cheese, you know. It's like you beat it, you get through it, and it's like, oh, I feel like I cheesed that.
There was like two fuck you rooms that I can remember. Maybe three. There was one for like an item that had like shit that shot lasers at you as soon as you enter the room. It would always knock you out of the room. But you didn't need to go there. There's also like I think after you fight that fire dragon or around there. Actually, there's okay. Now I'm thinking about it. There's quite a bit of fucked up rooms. There's the one with like the spikes and the little fairies. You remember that one?
Oh, oh, fairies can
The
can
blue
all.
ones.
I hope all
Yeah.
fairies die. The whole Fey race, dude.
And then after you beat that the dragon, if you don't go back and save, and you have to go through that plant room with all those plant, like you can get fucked there.
Uh, You know what?
I did that one of those
Yeah.
times.
I'll go as far as to say the whole plant section, all of that sucked. All of it. I hated the plants
Oh, it
with
had like
like a
those
burning
troll guys
passion.
that just fucking one hit you, basically.
Trolls are nuts. Trolls have way too much health.
And then there was that room, the room of the dragons. Yeah, that's like a fucking long hallway. That room's
Yeah,
pretty
the hallway
bullshit.
with the big green one, dude. that
Especially when you
shoot
just get.
lasers.
There's nothing worse than getting knocked out of the room and then the room just resetting all the enemies that you've just fought.
There was one room that it started with an enemy that hits you with a knockback move, and it puts you into the last room that you just cleared. And maybe there's 2 or 3 rooms like that, and it would just infuriate me because it's like I think there was a one of those like laser beam like chain things that you have to be a certain color to be in, and that refreshes your mana. So at one point, it's just like, all right, here's what they want me to do: keep surfing between the 2 rooms to not get hit, and stand in the laser like to refresh the mana. Because that's why I hated the plant thing, is because it just eats up mana. Because your bow takes mana for
Yep.
some reason. I'll never understand
You,
that.
you remember that room where it's a save point and then you walk out? It's like in the ruins area and there's like a bunch of blocks and then you got to go all the way across and then across again.
Yeah.
But it fucks you because if you go to the right, the room on the top right, which you can't go to yet, then you come back out and everything respawns and you have to go to
Garbage.
the left. And I remember watching you get stuck on that room. I think it's after the hallway with the dragons where you got to make that jump under the blade. It's like a double jump.
Yeah, fuck
Oh
that,
yeah,
dude.
that one.
That shit was so funny.
And lava, the one where you have to swim under the lava, it's like that's just goes against my gamer brain. It's like if I'm in lava, I try to get out as
No,
fast as
red
possible.
means you're invulnerable, dude. It was trying to teach you
Yeah.
the mechanic for the
Uh-huh.
dragon.
The fairy room with the spikes is probably the worst one that doesn't it's the worst like where the map is against you. But the one that I was talking about earlier is the worst room with the where the enemies are against you.
That's what.
But
Why
the
I've
game's
always.
not that hard.
No, it's not hard at all. Well, it's kind of hard, but it's not like if you're persistent, you'll beat it.
Yeah.
There's no like you never get like hard stuck anywhere.
Yeah, there's no huge increase.
It's not like Sifu, dude.
Oh my god, Sifu. Oh.
But that's what I like about Metroidvanias. It's like it's all like when you get to a new area, it's all about finding the save point so you don't lose progress. So you have to like route right. I've always thought that was fun because it's like when you die, it's like, oh, I just lost 20 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why autosaves are lame.
Yeah, no hand holding required in this game, honestly. They never told me where to go specifically. They never really like mapped out a clear objective aside from like the side plot with the assassin chick. Um but you go through anyway. It's like this is what you're doing. Walk around, figure it out. The first level is actually the one that I had the most difficulty with. Once I got to the second level or second section, like everything was just like, all right, I know how to progress forward now.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Metroidvanias are like that because you don't really get how the game works when you first start. But once you figure out, like, oh, I get the quirks of this shit, then it's like you just know what to do.
The 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 shield boss is the worst. That was the most difficult boss I had to deal with because
Shield boss. Is that
yeah,
the
she's
end?
like this Valkyrie with a shield, and she
Oh,
Oh, you
like
mean the
lobs
girl with the
shit at you.
mace?
She has wings, right?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one is pretty fucking hard.
because she would kill my runs at the boss rush too, and I'm like, why? I can kill dragons. I could kill that giant fucking snake worm. I can kill the old lady because she's garbage. Actually, you just stand behind her and keep poking her, and she's dead. But that shield Valkyrie chick, not a fan.
Ratings time, dude.
Nah, opinions.
Opinions. That's part of the rating.
Yeah, yeah. Brad, you go
Oh,
first.
uh, it was a solid 7 to me. Graphics overall amazing, gameplay fun enough, music really really solid. Just not enough of any of it. Needs to be longer.
Not as
That's the
good
only
as
reason.
Bug Fables, dude.
just too short, dude.
This
Bug
game's
Fables was too long.
this game's leaps and bounds better than Bug Fables. Nobody wants to hit a fucking 8, dude. Nobody.
Imagine hitting an 8 in Lost Ark, dude.
I'd be furious. For context, me and Colin and Brad, we've put a lot of time in Lost Ark. Lost Ark came out, dude, and I think I put around 200. I know Colin's got around 200.
I'll check
we
right
played,
now, actually, dude. 227.7 hours.
played a lot of games this month.
I'll probably boot it up after this, dude.
Like a ridiculous amount of gaming this month.
Multiverses, dude.
Multiverses, oh man,
Can't talk
NDA, NDA.
What would you rate it, dude?
Me, I rate this game a 3.5 out of 5. It was gonna get a 4, but it's got. If it was a little bit longer and had a little less bullshit, it would have gotten a 4 or a 4.5. But 3.5, it's a solid game. It's the highest. It's the highest I've done because the last 2 games were not awesome for me. I really had faith in Recore. I really did.
One of the worst games ever created, dude.
What do you put? What do you got for a record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth?
I'm giving it 85 out of 100. We're just gonna all give different rating systems, dude.
6 Mark Ruffalos.
The only bad thing about it could have had more. Yeah, it's just not long enough. That's the only thing. Yeah. And like the more I sat on it, it's like after my like initial like, oh, this game's perfect. I was like, it could have been better. It has flaws, but the biggest flaw is like if it was double the length, it would probably be like a 9.5.
Coherent story.
That too. It was just kind of just like people are happening. It was pretty fucking lame. But it's a good game, and people should play it. If you like Metroidvanias anyway. Even if you don't, I think it's worth playing. Because it's not long, and it's not that hard.
And it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Like, the way it's set up, if you, like, beating a boss feels good. Even if it didn't take you that long. Like, I beat a couple bosses first try. I think 2 bosses first try. And it felt great. It's like, oh, that guy sucked. But then the bosses that I didn't beat first try, it still felt awesome.
Let's just say, even Brabdo, who has no time and can't play hard games, could play this game. So it's an everyman's game, dude.
The Brabdo shout out. Who's never joining because he wants us to play Kingdom Hearts, but refuses to play a game that he doesn't want to play.
What's the game, Brad? I've been dying with anticipation.
Oh yeah, it'll be the first Fallout CRPG.
Oh my god!
This is gonna suck.
Shit.
Not what I expected. Fallout 1?
Fallout 1, a CRPG? Yeah, let's go.
Oh my
I told
God.
you Frank would like it.
Let's fucking go. I haven't played a CRPG in so long, dude. I think the last one
Dude, this game's gonna be so scuffed.
Is it?
What am I gonna get? A DOS emulator, dude?
They got a GOG version or whatever. There's like a game of the year.
Fallout 1. Oh, this is gonna be something.
I'm gonna need a fucking guide.
Yeah, I wonder how it holds up.
Oh no.
Yeah. We'll see,
somewhat decent.
You didn't look into it at all.
You better beat
I
this
saw
shit.
some gameplay and you know.
I mean, I've played it briefly once, and I mean briefly.
This is one of those games where like the bar like takes up half the screen. Like you play in a window.
Yeah. I mean,
this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a long month.
This is a good game for the resume, though. Like to say you've beaten it. Like who the fuck's actually beaten this game that was born in fucking the 90s? Nobody. This will be something.
Fallout 1.
So why 1 over 2? I think 2 is like a tactics game.
Truefire's
Really?
never joining this shit either, dude. There's no way.
No, no one would. We're all about to play this fucking old ass Fallout game.
And my next game is Zork.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna feel going from fucking Adam to this. It's gonna be stark contrast.
Horrible. Maybe we could find some mods that make it a little easier or something.
Yeah,
Not
don't get-
easier, but modernized, you know.
Yeah, if it turns out that bad, no shame in it.
But maybe we should just suffer, dude. If they could beat it back then, we can beat it now.
This
Like
is true.
Divinity fucking Original Sin, where where you can rest anywhere, dude. Imagine if we didn't have that. Would have added another 40 hours to the game.
Oh, we did play, which wasn't even a mod. It was in the fucking menu.
Yeah.
So that game's not good.
That game sucked.
Fallout 1, not what I expected.
It caught me way off guard. I am excited to play a CRPG again, though.
It'll be interesting.
Don't worry,
The
we'll all be
game of
suffering
games.
together if it's that bad.
I mean,
Oh, you better beat this shit, dude.
if no, dude, if Brad can beat Recore, he can beat Fallout 1. I already know Fallout 1's better, and it's fucking dated.
I can't wait, dude. Yeah, remember what I said about Recore? Fallout 1's worse.
No,
Shit doesn't work.
because I know Fallout 1 will at least have cool shit. Recore had nothing cool.
Well, there's a reason Fallout is still revered as a classic.
Exactly.
I like this.
And Recore will never be.
Nah, it's not. A buddy of mine watched the podcast, one of the 50 people that watched the Recore podcast, and he's like, yeah, I didn't think Recore was that bad. And I'm like, you just have terrible taste in games, dude.
And that's where Frank gets it from, because he thought
Yeah.
Recore was going to be sick, and it
I-
was not.
Tried, dude. I tried.
Birds of a feather.
Flock
All right.
together.
Is that it? Record of the Deedlit, War of the Wonder. Yeah.
He fucked it up.
It's
Yeah,
all
we'll
right,
butcher
dude. I
at
had
the
to
end.
had to get it out of my system.
Can't wait to
When
play
my-
Fallout. Came
my
out 2 years after I was born.